Follow what is going on in your mind and follow or do what you feel is right. And few people, they are not bothered, they are least bothered to give back the money they have taken as a loan. So who is the speaker? Polonius. Who is he talking to? His son. Who is the author? William Shakespeare. Is he asking his son to spend too much money? No. He is saying, costly thy habit as thy purse can buy. Hello, hi, namaste and welcome to Vidhyaashram, first grade college, the temple of excellence. I am Nandakishore, faculty of English in Vidhyaashram, MYSURU. In my previous session, I had discussed Polonius' advice to his son, which is one of the poems prescribed to MYSURU University first semester BCom and B.B.A students. And in today's session, session 2, I am going to continue and talk about how Polonius went on advising his son furthermore before he could leave to France. But before I continue, let me just give you a small recap what I had spoken in the previous session or the previous part of the poem. In the previous part of the poem or the first part of the poem, that Polonius is blaming his son. He is scolding his son, you are still here and wasting your time, and where your ship is awaiting you. And I spoke about lot many things in the previous session. But remember, here Polonius, on the one hand, he blames that he is still here, wasting his time. But on the other hand, he is the one who stops him and delays him further. But what was the reason? Just to give him a piece of advice for his life. And he goes on to tell, remember, you make good friends, you find good friends, judge them. Be familiar, but not through vulgar. Talk to your friends with familiarity, as if you know them well, but don't hook them up. Don't be just hanging out with them. Just don't do it. Don't be with them unnecessarily. Don't enter to fight. But if you enter, can't help. At times we have to, but if you enter, make sure that the opponent is very well aware about you. Make him aware about your power. And if you find good friends, and if you know them very well since long time, keep them closely. Hook them up. And don't try to just spend your valuable time with immature boys or immature friends. Don't do it. And don't try to help your friends unnecessarily if they don't want it. They will take you for granted. So in today's session, let us see what more advices will Laertes receives from his father. Just a background of the poem. You know that it is written by William Shakespeare, taken from the tragedy Hamlet, and it is from Act 1, Scene 3, and Polonius is the chief counselor of King Claudius, and Polonius' son Laertes is about to leave for France to join a university. So what more do we get to see in today's session is, give every man thy ear. Thy is your. Give every man your ear. In the sense, cut off and give it to him? No. Listen to him. Whatever other people tell, listen to them. But few thy voice. Few thy voice. Few your voice. Reduce it. Don't talk. Listen more and talk less. So these are the rules. And remember, you will have to attempt one 5-marker and one 10-marker question, possibly in your semester exam. So be careful. Each and every line, each and every explanation is very important. Polonius ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ತನ್ನ ಮಗನಿಗೆ, ಕಿವಿಗೊಡು, ಬೇರೆಯವರ ಮಾತಿಗೆ ಕಿವಿಗೊಡು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಮಾತಾಡು. There is a proverb in English, a good listener is a good communicator. One who listens more can always communicate more or better. He says, take each man's censure, advice, a piece of advice. Take it. Take their words. But reserve thy judgment. take everybody's words, but reserve your judgment. Listen to everybody. Take a piece of advice, but follow what is going on in your mind and follow or do what you feel is right. Judgment. He says, ಅವನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮಾತನ್ನು ತಗೋ, ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋ, ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಡ. ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಬಂದು ನಾನೊಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ನಿನ್ಗೆ, ಬೇಜಾರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಡ, ಇದು ಈ ತರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ನೀನ್ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಡ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳು, ಓಕೆ, just nod your head, just say yes, accept it, but it is in your hands whether to implement. Judgment is like, not giving judgment, but whether to accept it or not. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy. Costly, your habit in a sense. Is he asking his son to spend too much money? No. He is saying, costly thy habit as thy purse can buy. There is a proverb in Kannada. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗಾದೆ ಮಾತಿದೆ, ಹಾಸಿಗೆ ಇದ್ದಷ್ಟು ಕಾಲು ಚಾಚು. ಅವನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ನಿನಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆಯೋ, ನಿನ್ನ ಪರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡಿದೆಯೋ, how much ever money you have or the amount of money you have in your purse or in your pocket, spend that much. Limit your expenditure. Don't overspend on unnecessary things. That is what we do, right? We presume, most of the students, we did, even I did, that my dad is going to give me the money whenever I ask him. He's going to give us the money. So I'm just going to spend the money as a wish. Ash kar denge. We'll spend the money as we wish. What happens? We are going to drain our money. Right? One day, if our dad stops giving the money, he will cut the money. And he tells, you are grown up now. You're going to earn on yourself. You're going to earn by yourself. You're going to earn for yourself. I'm not going to give you. So what do? You will have to find a way. But if you can't, then you will be in trouble. That is what he says here. Duddu estide astak matra purchase madu. Just inculcate or develop the habit of spending as much money you have, but not expressed in fancy, rich, not gaudy. In the sense, wear the dress, buy the dress, costly thy habit. Habit in the sense like dress, buy the dress, buy things. Purse can buy things. But make sure you may have 10 crore rupees in your account, but not expressed in fancy, rich, or gaudy. He says, don't express it. Don't be too fashionable, over fashion, or too rich. Not gaudy. In the sense, don't be shabbily dressed like a poor person. Poorly dressed. Don't look like a lunatic. Don't look like a beggar. Don't look so poor. You should be perfect. He's asking him to be a perfectionist or sort of a perfectionist. Fancy, it should not be flashy. Like, like where people, they wear like, yo dress and then kind of a dress, they wear the big chain. They want to just grab the attention from other people. He says, for the apparel, right? Apparel, the dress, whatever you buy, often proclaims, because you are in France, remember, he's saying, for the apparels, oft in the sense, often, proclaims the man there. Proclaims the man, the judgment given. You could just judge me the way I'm dressed, the way I appear in front of you. Yes, I am professionally dressed, not shabbily dressed, neither flashily dressed. Right? I'm not here or to become a DJ, just like wear the huge dollar or a pendant, a chain. Right? No, I'm not wearing any of the dresses which I am supposed to wear somewhere else. No, I have worn the dress to the situation. So, according to the situation, ತಾಳಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕಂತೆ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ ಹಾಕು. And why is he talking about dress here? That is the question. Because oft proclaims the man, if you wear good dress, they are going to give you a good remark. They are going to judge you. They are going to accept you, that you are very well dressed. Just because you are too flashy, that doesn't mean that, they will praise you. They will treat you as a king. It won't happen. He says, and they in France. Now he's talking about France is the hub of fashion. You're going to go to the fashion hub. And of course, you have to be fashionably dressed. Of the best rank and station. Now he says the best rank in the world. France, the station where you're going to be a resident or be an accommodated person where you're going to study, are of most select and generous chief in that they are going to be very well dressed. So you need to know how well to be dressed. Most select and generous. Most select, they are very choosy. It meant that people are going to be very choosy. They know what to wear or what not to. They are going to be particular. Even you need to be particular. Be very careful about it. And he further moves and tells, neither a borrower nor a lender be. He says, neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend. He says, neither borrow, neither take money, nor lend, nor give money. ನೀನು ಸಾಲ ಪಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಡ, ಸಾಲ ಕೊಡಬೇಡ. ಯಾಕೆ? ಸಾಲ ಕೇಳಿ ಸ್ನೇಹ ಕಳೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಡಿ. You will get to see this tagline in a hotel or in a mall, not in a mall as such, but in a small showroom maybe. The garments where you get to purchase a lot of clothes. And he puts up a board. Don't. If you borrow, what will happen? You will spend more. If you give, what will happen? You will fall in trouble. You will lose friendship. For loan often loses both itself. Both? What is both? Itself in the sense money and a friend. You can lose your money. There are a lot of examples in the world. Friends will seek help, financial help. But what will happen? Once they receive money from the friend, they will escape. They will run off. Friendship is lost. Even the money is lost. And few, they borrow the money, yes, but they may not return. They keep troubling his friend. And rest, what they would do, they will take, but they give back very late. Too late. So this is going to be too costly. Emotional fluctuation. Your friend might feel, what sort of a friend is he? What sort of a friend have I given the money to? Can't he give back the money that I have given during his difficulty? ಅವನು ಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ ನಾನು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನನ್ನ ಕಷ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ನನಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನು. And few people, they are not bothered, they are least bothered to give back the money they have taken as a loan. It could be from the bank or from the people. They are like living around, say, as if nothing bothers them. So don't do it. Don't fall a prey. Don't fall in the trap for either of this. And borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. It is going to cost you very much. Borrowing dulls because you become very dull. The edge of husbandry. Husbandry is like taking care of animals, animal husbandry. But here husbandry is totally different context. It could be daily expenditure. It could be your expenses that you spend on things that you do on daily basis. You have money, so you feel, okay, I have money, unnecessarily spend it. And of course, you might feel, yes, I'm not a person like him. I'm not the person. Sir, I'm not going to spend unnecessarily. You think I'm going to spend unnecessarily on unwanted things? No. But trust me, when you have money, it is a temptation. It is a sort of like, where you feel the pocket very heavy. Yes, I can do something. Maybe if I have 10,000 rupees, what is wrong in spending 500 rupees today? And tomorrow you feel the same thing, and the day after, and the third day, it continues. Ultimately, you end up spending all the 10,000 rupees you have, hoping that you will be receiving it, or hoping you will be getting it from somewhere else, which you won't. You fall a prey. This above all, the previous lines, whatever he has spoken, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night, the day. He says, to you, oneself be true, accept it, follow it, and it must be followed, remembered, night and day. Don't differentiate that you have to follow it only during the day. You have to follow it only during the night. Don't differentiate. Once you step out, you are on your own. So carry your brain as well with you. Thou canst not then be false to any man. He is asking, don't be false to any man. Don't wear a mask. Don't pretend. Right? He's asking, follow it. Be true to yourself. Be true to others. What a beautiful piece of advice. Farewell. Now he's saying, farewell, my blessing. Season this in thee. My blessings is always there on you, with you, along with you. Don't worry about it. You're going to just look after yourself, take care of yourself, and my blessings, if you're going to follow whatever I've told you, the piece of advice, my blessings is always there on you. It's always there. But be true to yourself and try to follow what I have told you. Polonius' advice to his son. So that is it about the poem. So let us see the previous year's question paper. The first question you see is, who is the speaker of the poem? Polonius' advice to his son. It is Polonius. Who is he talking to? He is talking to his son, Laertes. And what was the purpose of Laertes' journey to France? He was going to join a university in France for the education. So who is the speaker? Polonius. Who is he talking to? His son. Who is the author? William Shakespeare. You can expect a question, remember? And this were for 1 marker, and the third question is for 5 marks. Annotate. Annotation. Right? Annotate. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend. You have to take up this question and start answering. How to answer the question, how to annotate. What are the skills you can expect? The first thing, you have to talk about the poem. You have to write the title of the poem, and then you have to write about the poet. I'm telling you the tips, giving you the tips how to write the answers. First you write about the poem. This annotation is taken from the poem Polonius' advice to his son, full stop. William Shakespeare is the poet of this poem, full stop. 2 sentences, 2 meaningful sentences. Try to write meaningful sentences, and then you write about the background of the poem, which is also very important. You can also write maybe 2 or 3 lines more, or 1 more line is more than enough about a poet. William Shakespeare. This poem is written by the poet William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is believed to be the father of English literature, and he is one of the prominent writers, a playwright in English literature. Enough. And then you write about the background. What is the background here? That this poem is an extract, a piece of extract which is taken from the novel, the play Hamlet, and the situation is such that Polonius, who is the counselor of King Claudius, will be blessing his son, will be just giving a piece of advice to his son, Laertes, before he goes to France to join a university or join in university. So by this, you might have written 7 to 8 sentences, which is beautiful. And then you talk about in one of the lines, and one of the advices that Polonius gave to his son Laertes, saying that neither a borrower, and then you quote this. Okay, just write it. If this is the sheet, this is the answer sheet, just write it. Just leave this space here. Don't write it here. Try to fit in these lines, just in these lines, in between. It should be differentiated. You are quoting this line and put it within double inverted commas. Open and close it. And once you write it and then start explaining. This is one of the piece of advices Polonius is giving to Laertes, saying he should not borrow or he should not lend money. And you go on explaining whatever I have told you. So that will come up to at least a page. So that's how you score marks. I'm telling you an idea. What we expect being a teacher, what we see in your answer sheet. Next one is for 10 marks. This is a headache. Sir, what should we write for 10 marks? How much lines should we write for 10 marks? How many words? Because few people, you might have come from CBSE background and they usually prefer asking you to write or attempt the question within 200 words, 250 words, 300 words. Is there any terms and conditions to apply here, sir? Are we going to write with stipulated words or in paragraphs or stanzas? If you ask me, at least write 3 paragraphs. So 3 paragraphs, what are we going to do? And how many lines should a 3 paragraph consist? At least 8 to 10 lines. Each paragraph should have at least 10 lines. So 30 lines you are going to write. Let us say minimum, I'm telling, in order to score 6 to 7 marks. If you want to score more, well, it matters what you write within those lines. 30 lines, more than enough. But what is the quality of your answers you present? The question goes, what good qualities did Polonius expect his son to inculcate? I suggest you to follow the same 3 pattern: poem, poet, and background, and then you start writing. You can also express your viewpoints with 1 or 2 lines. How is it? It is the general tendency of a father to give advice to his son when he is leaving to abroad country for the purpose of job or studies. It is the natural tendency. Yes, you can add this. It is a common sense paragraph or a sentence that you can create, you can speak about. Good qualities you have to write. You should know the summary right from the beginning. In simple, try to know the summary for 10 marks and you have to write based on the qualities. How do you differentiate the qualities? You go on speaking about qualities. What are the qualities? Make good friends. Judge them before you make friendship. Once you judge them, take them to your heart. Keep them close. Don't try to help people who are not in need of your help because they will take you for granted. Don't give money because you might lose a friend or money or both in that case. And neither borrow money, because you borrow money, you will lose your self-respect, first place. Second place, you will start spending your money on unnecessary thing. Correct? Wear good clothes, apparels, right? New clothes, not flashy, not gaudy, not poorly dressed. Try to impress others the way you are. Impress them. And don't try to speak more, listen more. There are a lot of points there. Each and every line will give you a message, will give you the good qualities that even we need to inculcate in our lives today. Yes, we have to. And he says, true. Be true to yourself. Be a true man. True man will always be a successful man. So these are the qualities you can speak about. Minimum 3 paragraphs. I'm asking. You can go up to 4 paragraphs, but don't write rubbish when you write 4 paragraphs. 4 paragraphs in the sense 2 pages for 10 marks. 1 page, okay, 5 marks, and the other page, 5 marks. So divide it, divide the sheet, 1 paragraph or 2 paragraph, 3rd paragraph and 4th paragraph. Simple. 5 paragraphs. Now, 4 paragraphs, 2 pages, 5 marks each. That's how you divide it. But remember, don't expect out of out marks. If you expect out of out, then you need to know more, you need to write more. How to score out of out? It is highly impossible, but still I would give you an idea. Write about the poet as well. What is the context? The poet, the poem. This should make a paragraph. All this put together, background, the poet and poem, half a paragraph. And you are going to talk about the qualities in 3 paragraphs or 2 paragraphs, how much ever you want to write. I'm repeatedly talking about marks and paragraphs because we want our students to pass in the examination, to graduate your UG. Remember that. So that is it for today's session. I'm going to meet you in my next session. In my next session, I will be talking about one of the poems, other poems prescribed in your syllabus. But until then, you need to read this, collect more materials, and you can always refer to the internet. There are plenty of materials available. Try to watch other videos as well, and it will definitely help you. We are concerned about your marks. We want all of our viewers and our students to clear the examination. And let me tell you, this poem is taught from the point of examination for first semester BCom and B.B.A students, Mysuru University. If you are a viewer, yes, of course, it will be very handy to get at least something from this session. So keep reading, keep watching. We'll meet you in the next session. Until then, have a good day. Take care.